Hi, everyone. I am Donna Reed, and this is Donna Reed Talks Voice. And I am working yet again with Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
And if you've been following this season, we've been working with Rebecca with her chest voice because the chest voice tends to want to shut down a little bit. And so we're trying to free that up. Now, what's really, really interesting is obviously, if you've heard the past lessons, Rebecca has a beautiful voice, which works really, really well. But there's this little glitch on the bottom. There's this little chest voice that could just be that little bit freer, which of course would make it much easier for her to sing in general. So we're working on that. Despite all the wonderful goods of her voice, that's what we're doing here. We're finding, well, what is it that's maybe not working as good as it could be, so we could work on it and make it even easier for her, even better for her. So, because as I said, a lot of you will say, but she sounds gorgeous. Yes, she does. True. But we could make it easier. We could make it better, which is what we're working on. So, since I've seen you last time, have you been singing? What's been going on with your voice?
I've been singing more this week. I also started teaching again, and so I've been doing a lot more. But weirdly enough, I felt like the chest voice was a lot better than last week when I was doing less. So,
Okay, you see, there it is. Now, why would that be? So that there's a question that we would ask and say, now she's doing more and the chest voice is better. She did less and the chest voice was not as good. Who knows why that is? Maybe whatever you were doing, it was going more efficiently, maybe a result of what we've been doing, maybe something, who knows? So again, as I've said many episodes before, we study voice. We just observe these things, don't come to a conclusion yet, and say, all right, let's keep trying to make it better and see what happens. So I'm going to start you in the chest voice and just see where we're at right now. So do ga ga ga.
ga 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 ga.
And I'm actually going to take it higher instead of lower.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Now, how does all of that feel?
Easy, no problem.
Good, not a problem. Okay, let's do ga 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 and then change it to gay gay gay. So ga 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 gay 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 gay.
Ga 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 ga.
Now this one I'm going to take a little lower. Let me know if the ah is easier or if the a is easier.
Ga 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 ga. I feel like
Any
the ah is like a bit deeper, a bit rounder, and the has more grip. So like I feel
Okay.
like I can control the
What would
a better, but the ah is a bit more open.
so the a seems a little shut down,
No, not really, but it feels like it's a bit more um
compact.
yeah, compact, maybe a bit more powerful in some ways, like
Okay, what I'm
more direct.
hearing is, yep, what I'm hearing is that with the A, there's a little tiny bit more chest voice in there. And with
Hmm.
the ah, it's still a chest voice, but as you said, it's a little bit of a rounder chest voice, almost a little bit of a headier chest voice.
Yeah,
But both feel free, nothing feels tight, right?
no, both are
Okay,
free.
beautiful. So we're gonna keep doing this, ga to gay. You just notice the differences and just notice the two different kinds of chest voice.
Ga 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 ga.
And that's our A natural down there that I mean G, excuse me, the G down there that gets a little stuck. That's okay. I'm happy that we got the A flat and the A.
Yeah.
Um, I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'm going to stick with just the A, and I'm going to go a little higher and do gay, gay, gay again.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Good, and I'm not gonna go low, low, I'm just gonna stick with that. Now let's extend that a little bit and see what happens.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Okay, now here's my question. On the top, does that seem like chest voice like the bottom, or does it seem something different?
Well, the bottom doesn't seem as chesty as before, and the top feels very easy, very free, not too chesty.
Okay, great. So both of them are kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take that top one that we just did. Still with the gay, 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 and see where it wants to go.
Ga 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 ga.
Now that bottom one, there, how does that compare to when you did that one? It's the same note. This was the top note though, and that was the bottom one.
It felt a lot more heady, but also like straighter, and yeah,
So that's what I heard.
frightening.
Now, what I heard is because I started with that note and then you had to go higher, automatically your voice said, oh, I want to be headier with that. But when we did it down here and it started a little chestier, wanted to be chestier. Both are fine because both feel free, right?
Yeah.
So again, we're just exploring what's going on with these things. Now, we're going to do this again. And notice that bottom note, and then we'll do then I'll explain the next thing.
Ga 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 ga.
Great. Now you're going to start with that sound and see what happens if you do and end up on the bottom one. Don't force anything on the bottom, just see what happens to that note, but start with that sound.
Ga 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 ga.
Now, did you notice more of a switch back and forth?
It didn't really switch, but it was like it felt more heady, everything.
Even the bottom note.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now that's interesting because you felt that bottom note a little bit more heady. I actually heard a little bit more chest voice.
Oh, all right. It didn't feel like it switched, so maybe that's why it felt heady to me, because I felt like I had a more heady start, so if it didn't switch, it must be more heady.
Right, but I actually heard a little bit of a switch.
All right.
Interesting, which is fine. Interesting. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I like this where we're going here. I'm going to experiment with it, and I could be wrong. You know, I'm going to test it all out, test out the theory, and see what happens. Let's do this one again, and keep it on that headier side. See what happens. Gay, gay, gay. Okay, start with that sound, and let's see where it goes. Don't force anything.
Now I felt the switch.
Yes, and we heard it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what happened there. What happened there is that you started heady, it switched, but then it stayed chesty.
Mm-hmm.
Can you start heady, let it switch, and then let it switch back to that same sound and switch back?
Okay, I can try.
And it may be a little tricky because we're going on the fast side, but you really have to allow for that big break that just happened there, the first one. Allow for that break to happen. Aha. You see, I got it. I think this is going to be helpful because you notice how difficult it was to switch. You
Yeah.
switched the first couple and then the next one got up there. So what I'm looking for is a real Gay, 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 gay. Do you see how a real switch? You may have to, once you do the bottom note, you may have to really back off on the volume on the top. Because
Mm-hmm.
what I'm looking for is a real shift, a big shift
Okay.
from more heady to more chesty.
Ga 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 ga.
Yes, like that.
All
Let's
right.
see where this goes. Same idea. So really easy on that top note. And again, you're not going to push into the bottom ones, but the bottom ones shift. And then you ease up on that top one, let it be more heady.
Ga 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 ga.
Like that. Like that. Same here. Really back off on the top note.
Ga 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 ga.
Okay. Now, when you first got to the bottom note, it was there and then the little scratch came in, but there was a
Yeah.
moment when it was clear. Let me do this. Let's do the whole octave. Now be very careful. The top two are heady, heady, heady.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come back up, be careful that that fifth going up is still heady, heady. So
Ga 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 ga.
yes. And we got a better chest voice on the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. So let me explain what I'm discovering here, what I think is helpful. When you get to the B flat, B, C, and that's on the more chesty side, and then you have to go up. You tend to bring that chest voice mix, a more of a chest voice mix into the E flat, E, F sharp. And even though that chest voice feels okay, I think it's that mix that might be just shutting down a little bit, that's then not making it possible to get to the bottom ones. So in other words, to make a smooth scale, you're mixing the registers in such a way that they're not able to separate from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why the chest voice gets stuck a little bit on the head voice side, and then you can't go lower.
Yeah.
So what I just did now is I made you really separate the lower head voice, upper chest voice from the lower chest voice.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and in doing that little separation, we freed up the lower chest voice a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is a typical with a lot of people, because what we want to do is make a smooth scale. Obviously, we don't want to hear a big break in the voice, but sometimes the way we smooth over the scale then makes those two registers kind of do this a little bit. My late husband used to give that example of exactly this. He said, the two registers won't separate, so where you take one, the other one goes.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be able to keep them together, but then keep them apart and then keep them together and be able to do that. This is interesting. Now let's check it all out. Let's do an oo staccato 3 times and see where we're at. And how does that one feel?
It's all right. It took a bit more energy than I thought at first.
Exactly. And I'll tell you why, because the whole lesson, I don't think we've gone above A, above the middle C. We started in the low part of your voice, and then all of a sudden I'm going up to an E flat. Not that that's high for you, but that's way higher than what we did. So then you're right, energetically, your body's like, wait a minute, what? What? Oh, yeah, I need energy. So let's do it again. No, you need a little bit more air, a little bit more energy. There you go. There you go. And how did that feel?
It was fine. It felt all right.
Great. Let's keep going higher. See where it wants to go. Just let it fly. Still okay?
Yeah, still okay. I just felt like I had to form the ooh a bit more. That's why it was different.
Yes, of course. You have to open up the ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it do something different. Absolutely. All right, now I heard a little something on this one. I said, oh, let's go higher and see. It got a little breathy. Did you hear
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
All right, now before I fix that, I want to go back here. Just plain ah, starting. No, I'm going to do the gay, gay, gay again because I like what that did. But start very head voice, gay, gay, and then let it go to whatever kind of chest voice it wants to.
Gay, gay, gay.
Good, 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 good. Do that again. Do that again and just make it just a little bit more musical.
Mm-hmm. Gay, gay, gay.
Difficult on the bottom?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so these breathy guys up here and the staccato up there, which happened in another lesson earlier, in a previous lesson, shut that down there. All right, so there's something about the staccato up there, which I recall from that last lesson, but we never addressed. All right, so we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna go back to the head voice, but I want you to do it with a goo 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 instead of a staccato. And real hooty, make sure the tongue is really moving. Goo,
Mm-hmm.
goo, 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 real goo 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 goo. Now, how did those feel?
They felt better and a bit less breathy than the just ooh staccatos.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Okay, now let's do the whole octave. Go back to the gay, 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 heady, 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 and then just see where it goes on the bottom.
Gay, 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 gay.
How'd that one feel?
Better than the last one.
Yeah, okay. All right, all right, all right. So there's something about the staccato. All right. Let's see how we're going to fix this. I'll tell you what. Right in the middle here, what I want you to do is I want you to, I'm going to stand up a little bit, put your hands here. And I want you, when you do the staccato, ooh, 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 notice how that is moving. Is it going bounce, bounce, bounce? Is it not bouncing? Is it going bounce, bounce, bounce? Just feel and notice the movement. So with an ooh staccato, 3 times. See what happens. And what do you notice?
It's bouncing.
So just a little tiny bit bouncing?
I feel like it's bouncing in the middle, and there
Okay,
it's bouncing.
beautiful. That seems normal. I mean, let's see what happens. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to do a, and you don't want to normally sing this way, but I want you to do a glottal. I want you to do oh, 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 a real oh, oh. And notice the difference in the bounce. Is it bouncing more? Is it bouncing less? And what did you notice?
I felt like the bouncing was more regular and not as aggressive than before.
Interesting. Now I'm going to have you do it the opposite way. I'm going to have you do it with an H. So
Mhm.
hoo hoo hoo, and see again what happens with the bounce. So what happened with that one?
It got less bouncy in the end, but I think because I had less air left.
Right, of course.
um, and that bouncing was more similar to the normal staccato bouncing than to the second one.
Okay, then to the glottal one.
Yeah.
All righty. So I am thinking that when you do the staccato, the coordination between that bounce and the throat action is not quite efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason I had you do the glottal one is sometimes, even though you do it could give you a little bit more of the right throat action. So I think the throat action and how the bounce comes along is not quite coordinated, as I just said. See if you could do it again with the glottal, because you notice when you did it, it wasn't glottal glottal. It was kind of half glottal, half staccato.
Yeah.
But I think the other staccato is too breathy. And I think what you're doing is you're forcing the vocal cords apart a little bit too aggressively. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you do that and then you try to come back down to the chest voice, they don't want to come back down to, they don't want to come back together.
Yeah.
So let's do it again with the one that, even if it's too glottal, the one that's more glottal. And see, and we're going to go a little higher. Just lost my earring. We're going to go a little bit higher and then see what happens with it. See, I think that's a more efficient staccato.
Yeah.
That feels better, right?
Yeah, it feels way better and it's not breathy and it doesn't feel like forced or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Let's keep going higher with this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And let me know if anything doesn't feel good.
Mhm.
Good. Yeah. Now you notice, I'll
Much
tell you what I,
better intonate like that. It's
I was about to
really
address
better.
that. Yeah, I was about to say something about that exactly. You notice how the intonation's a little bit off. I
Yeah,
don't care about that. What I like about that is the intonation's off because you're not controlling it.
yeah,
So, okay, fine, it's a little bit out of tune. We don't care. Functionally speaking, this is freer, this is better. Once the muscles get freer and better, it'll go back into tune. Your ear is great, that'll be fine. But many times, because we don't want to sing out of tune, in trying to make something be in tune, we will force something that we shouldn't force. So I'm actually happy that it went out of tune because you weren't controlling it. Now, let's go back down here to our gay, 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 gay again. Remember, you start heady, 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 and see where it goes. Let's compare and see where that bottom note wants to go.
Ga, 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 ga.
Well, that was much easier, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go lower with it.
Ga, 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 ga.
That's it. And remember, you ease into it. Really just sneak into that bottom note.
Ga, 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 ga.
Oh, now did you hear the beginning of that bottom note even had a little vibrato in it?
Yeah.
And that's that G again. Excellent, excellent. So again, little by little, we're working out the problem. We're working out, oh, what is it that's going on somewhere else in the voice that may be affecting this? So two things we discovered today. It's being careful about the kind of chest voice that mix that comes up on the E flat, E, F sharp, and changing the way you approach a staccato up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's excellent. That little by little we're getting there. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. That's
Thank you.
it's so revelatory and it's so much fun. What I love about this way of teaching is working out the puzzle. what's going on here? What's going on there? I'm a little confused. Let's try this. Let's try that. Where is it going? Now, for my listeners out there, um, this staccato thing that we're playing around with, your staccato issue may be totally different. Maybe you're doing a staccato that's way too glottal, and maybe I would do the opposite and say, okay, let's do one with a little bit more of an H, just so that we can get the right kind of staccato. Now, we just did the opposite with you, but everybody is different. Now, some people may do the staccato, and that's not even an issue. It does, okay, it's good, we're doing fine with that. And their issue is something else. So again, if you're playing around with these things at home, then know that what I just did with Rebecca may not work for you, but it might. That's how it is. We have to be individual. We have to play around and see what's going on with that. Thank you so much. This was fun.
Yeah, really.
Thanks for watching Donna Reed Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.